That Don't Sound Right is a podcast about talking the way we did before the internet, when you could not prove anyone right or wrong.
All the expertise was contained in the people involved with the conversation. I'm Peter.
I'm Cecil, and I hope you enjoy our conversations. And as you listen, if you find yourself silently saying, that don't sound right, send us a comment. You're one of us.
100th episode. We appreciate you sticking out there the whole time.
You know, we should have like a badge for 100 episodes.
Well,
or a rubber duck for 100 episodes.
I know several people who want something that said, I listened to them all, like my boss.
Yeah.
He's listened to them all. Welcome back to another episode of That Don't Sound Right, podcast about talking. We're your co-host. I'm Peter Billman.
I'm Cecil Davis.
And we're just trying to have a conversation without using Google or fact-checking. Those things kill off the conversation so often. And sometimes Cecil and me, we have awkward pauses. That's good enough to kill the conversation. We don't need to Google that.
That's right.
So you get it. We're just trying to have a conversation.
It's not you've got a conversation that I don't know. I know a bit about it.
Yeah, and I kind of gave you a primer.
Yep.
Because I learned about this recently from some friends of mine that own Jeeps. And so I first discovered this peculiarity. I can't even say the word. And I didn't even know I had discovered it. But I was in a parking lot, and there was this rubber duck on the ground. It was in the parking lot. And this particular one was had a yellow face with the kind of a ninja mask and kind of a ninja uniform on. But it's your typical rubber duck, right? It's probably about 3 inches long and about 3 inches tall. Just a very small rubber duck. And I come to find out that Jeep owners will take a rubber duck and put it on each other's Jeeps.
Right.
You've heard of this?
I had seen it. I didn't know what it was. And then from the time you and I talked till now, I understand a little bit more about it, about this whole culture.
Well, I mean, I first thought about it, and it just, there's something about it they don't sound right. I mean, I was trying to understand what's the link between a rubber duck and a Jeep.
And Jeep culture.
Do you have any insight on this?
So all I know about it is that my understanding is if you like another Jeep.
Okay.
That I guess you have a supply of rubber ducks in your Jeep, and you put one on their bumper in honor.
It's on the bumper. Okay.
Yeah, and so you put it on their bumper out of respect or honor, and then because you see some Jeeps have the whole dash is lined with ducks.
That's where once I heard about the ducks, then it started to make sense because I would often see these little round, colorful things on some people's dashes of their Jeeps. Like, what are they collecting? Stuffed animals? What are they collecting? So it's
ducks.
It's a bunch of rubber ducks.
Yep. But my understanding is you do it so like if you really like a Jeep, you give them one of your ducks, and then so if you see a Jeep with a lot of ducks,
yeah.
And we might get a letter explaining this.
I would hope. Well, I reached out to some of my Jeep friends, and many of them did not know the origin of this.
But they did it. Do they do it?
Well, the question is, do you receive ducks or do you give ducks?
I thought you do both.
Well, not everyone does this.
Oh.
So one person I spoke to, when they receive a duck, they immediately turn around and gift the duck.
The same duck?
The same duck, regardless if they like the Jeep or not. They just get rid of the duck. They think the whole idea is gaudy. Don't care for it one bit. No ducks around on their Jeep. They get a duck, it goes on to the next available Jeep.
Really?
Yes.
So Jeep culture, to me, has exploded in the last year or two.
Oh, really?
To me, yeah. I mean, it's been around for a long time. It's been around. But I mean, especially where I work, because there's a custom Jeep builder in the town where I work.
Yeah,
and so they have these Jeep rallies where the Jeeps have a lot of different lights on them.
Right.
Ground effects. They're sitting up a lot higher, a lot of chrome, and a lot of ducks.
Do these Jeeps appear to have gone off-road?
Oh, no. See, and this is where I told you before that I was like, I can I didn't want to be disparaging of any of our Jeep brethren.
We have plenty of friends who have Jeeps,
right? And we don't need to lose any listeners,
right? I mean, we're
plenty of friends with Jeeps.
Got to keep it in the triple digits here, right?
Yeah, that's right. We have to keep it. Yeah, so but there is a distinct Jeep culture, and so I get to see it at least once a week at this gathering near where I work, and all these very high end custom Jeeps.
The one of the Jeep culture things that usually goes on is you wave to another Jeep owner, and specifically when we're talking about Jeeps, we're not talking about the Jeep Compass or the Jeep Liberty. Yeah. We're really talking about the open air.
Yeah. Which one is that? Is that the Wrangler?
It's the Wrangler. Okay. It's the Wrangler. But going back, was it the CJ? It went back to the CJ and the XJ.
Yeah.
But those are the Jeeps that's where the culture is. I don't think Jeep Grand Cherokee owners wave to each other. They might. I could be wrong. But it's really the Wrangler.
But that's the 2-finger wave off the steering wheel.
Oh,
is that right?
I don't know if there's a particular way. I thought that was more regional because there's some areas of the country you'll give one finger up.
Off of the wheel.
Off the wheel.
Yeah. So
Harley riders, understand, they have certain waves.
Well, the motorcycle waves are always down to me.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like they always wave with their hand down.
Yep.
I've not really noticed the Jeep wave. Now I've noticed if you're riding in a rural area, you, especially if you know the person, there's the 1 or 2 finger wave off the wheel, which I think is probably the Jeep wave too.
Okay,
would be my guess.
I don't. I'm not sure about what the particular Jeep wave is, but I do know I was told that they wave to each other, and then we've got this rubber duck thing going. This rubber duck thing.
Well, they're also. The Jeeps I've seen up close recently are like color matching everything on these Jeeps now. Like all the like trim pieces are color. You can color match them back to the color of your Jeep.
So the interior plastic bits are
and little plastic
the same
bits
color,
on the side.
whatever's painted on the outside.
Right. You can do it with this plastic on the outside.
Yeah,
too.
all right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do.
Oh, there's a serious aftermarket pit of money you can spend on a Jeep. I remember going up on the J.C. Whitney catalog. You remember the J.C. Whitney catalog?
That's like your Christmas catalog.
So the J.C. Whitney catalog, if anyone knows, it's an old. Well, actually, I don't think they're in business anymore. I think they're bought out by carparts.com. But they just specialized in old car parts, mainly aftermarket. Yeah. But the biggest section in the J.C. Whitney is the Jeep section.
Did they used to have specialty catalogs like J.C. Whitney just for Jeeps and J.C. Whitney just for trucks?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yes.
So I used to love that. I would get that catalog and dream over being able to buy all the pieces and like put one together just from the J.C. Whitney.
Oh, yeah. You could buy the whole body.
Yeah.
You know what the sad thing for me was, though, is I owned an International Scout, and there might be a half a page devoted to
the Scout. So for the Ranchero, I've got a catalog now from the people I deal with the most on parts, Autocrafters. They send out a Falcon Ranchero catalog.
No way.
Yeah.
You're fortunate.
Paper catalog.
All right.
And Classic Customs, they have a paper Ranchero catalog.
All right.
Which is fun just to flip through again.
I bet you it is.
But J.C. Whitney was fun because they had unusual things too.
Like
stuff you necessarily couldn't find in stores. So like if you wanted a fan for your car that would plug into your cigarette light. And this was before all this stuff was available everywhere.
They were like the Amazon of car parts, but there was a paper catalog.
Yeah. And it's hard to imagine that now because people just go online and find whatever they want to find. But this was like a little catalog of gold.
Right.
Because you get specialty tools, as I remember, and
this is where you get the skull with the light-up eyes that you screw down on your stick shift.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
This is where you get the suicide knobs that you screw to your steering wheel, and you can turn the wheel with one hand really quick. Oh,
yeah, and you couldn't just get that anywhere.
No,
but you get through
J.C. Whitney.
Yeah, those were. When I found out they had the Ranchero catalog, I was very happy.
Oh man, I bet you. Yeah.
I flipped through it until it's like worn out.
It got me to thinking that the whole Jeep Duck thing. You know, do you know any more about this Jeep Duck thing?
That's all I know is that it's a sign of, like, if you really like it, respect.
Okay.
You put a duck on the
All right. Well, that's good to know. I mean, I really didn't know.
I would love to know if you have custom ducks though. Like if you're a giver, do you have like ducks that represent you and your Jeep?
I bet
so that if you give it out, people are like, oh, that's Peter.
It could be. I bet you there. I haven't looked. I'm sure there's a rubber duck company where you can get custom ducks.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Wonderfully made ducks.
Yeah. So you're asking, do I know anything else like this?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing to me was this is you don't see it much anymore, but the mileage badges.
Mileage badges?
Yeah.
Tell me.
You see them more for the European cars, but like once you hit 100,000 miles, you get the badge from Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so if you see a Mercedes-Benz with like 2 or 3 of these badges on them, then you know it's a high mileage Mercedes-Benz, which is a sign of respect, I guess, in Germany that you have this high mileage.
You and me would have lots of badges.
Oh yeah. I actually called Honda and asked them if they had mileage badges.
Did they say no?
They do not.
But I was thinking about other things that we leave on other people's property, either out of respect or more out of pranks.
Right.
So, have you heard of forking someone's yard?
Yes. I've never done that.
Have you ever been forked?
No.
My daughter's forked a yard.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never had that happen.
Yeah.
I've had a yard rolled.
Okay.
But
what did you do with the toilet paper?
I just usually, it wasn't actually my yard. They rolled 2 trees that were close over the road, and they rolled it between the 2 trees across the road. So, yeah.
Funny story. There's a family member in my immediate family who actually, it was Bunny's grandma, and she was very good at conservation and reusing things. She had calendars that she had reused.
Oh, wow.
So you had to go back about 17 years. You have to go back before you can actually reuse the calendar, something like that.
She would have it for 17 years?
She'd hold on to it for 17 years and she'd bring it out. And the days would line up.
Wow.
But it was 17 years ago. I forgot the actual... Can we do the math real quick? How many years would we have to do to get back on the day?
I don't know.
Because you got leap year that messes everything up.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it in my head, sitting here. I don't know. I know that it moves ahead, but I don't know how far it moves ahead before it gets back. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll come back to that later. Yeah. Anyway, but her place got mistakenly TP'd. Mistakenly rolled. And on the ground were some partial rolls of toilet paper. She gathered them up.
And used them.
And she used them. She was not going to let that toilet paper go to waste.
I threw my back out one time. I saw a neighbor's house had been rolled. Yeah. And I was finishing a run, and I started cleaning their yard up for them. Yeah. And something happened to my back. I went down on the ground.
No.
And
was this recently? I remember you had
this is like 15 years ago.
Okay, all right.
But there I was laying in the front yard in a big pile of toilet paper.
And they probably thought you did it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You're covered in toilet paper. Yeah, you threw out your back throwing the roll. Way to go.
No, I know that you've had stuff in your yard other than that.
I had a flamingo show up. Not a flock. I've heard of people putting flocks of the plastic flamingos. I've just had the one.
That went on in this neighborhood for about a half a year.
Is that right?
6 months, yeah. I knew other people that had flamingos that show up in their yard.
All right.
Yeah, so I think that was a thing here for a little while.
Maybe we need to start something.
Like that?
Yeah. Maybe like a bunch of little "that don't sound right" signs in your yard.
Somebody's yard. That don't sound right. Somebody's yard.
Or like next to their car, and then they get they think something's wrong with their car.
My dad had a friend that used to, if he came over while we were gone, like on vacation, he would move everything in the carport in front of the door, so you couldn't get in the house when you got back.
Everything in the
so if there were bikes, lawnmowers, tool, whatever, he would move it in front of the
front door,
or move it in front of the side door.
Oh, in front of the side door.
Yeah.
Okay. But really, I'm not going. If I have all this stuff on the carport to steal, I don't need to go inside.
Yeah, no, he wanted to see it. Yeah, he wanted to see
steal
it.
your bike.
No, he was doing it as a prank. He was just piling it up in front of your car. So when you got back from vacation, you had to move all the stuff.
He did it to you.
Right.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so you have to move everything before you get in the side door.
I understand.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but I don't have anything else like that I can think of that people...
I'm sure there's a long list.
Like the gnomes, I think I've heard of people putting gnomes in people's yards. And I had somebody put a portrait in our house one time.
A portrait? Mm-hmm. They got in your house?
Yeah, when we were on vacation, they had our key to check on stuff, and we came back and they put a big portrait of themselves up in our house.
Okay.
And none of us noticed it.
No.
Olivia.
Did they swap out an existing picture?
They did, yeah. And we didn't notice it, but Olivia immediately noticed it. Everybody else went by it.
And
Olivia was
funny.
Olivia was like, "What's your picture up?"
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, that was a good point.
I don't house it, but sometimes sometimes my kids have to house it, so maybe
you should get a big family portrait done and just.
I've got one laying around.
Yeah, just have it hanging up in somebody's house.
That would be pretty funny.
In lieu of something they already
Did you feel like you were violated? That the trust was broken? Did you wonder what else was going on?
Right, you had to look for everything.
Did you wonder what else was going on in your house afterwards?
Anything else that had been moved?
What else was
around.
missing?
Right.
Or what else was there that shouldn't be there?
That's right. There could be something even now. Maybe we missed something.
How long ago was it? I'm looking around.
No, this was years ago.
Speaking of looking around, maybe the listeners are hearing a strange sound, but Cecil owns one of the largest indoor refrigerators I think I've ever heard. I mean, you've said it's the loudest? The loudest. Not the largest.
Not the largest.
The loudest.
It's, I mean, we bought it. It's not old. There's nothing wrong with it. It works well.
I'm drinking a cold beverage.
But
not throwing shade at the...
It is.
But if you hear
loud.
some noise on the microphone, it's in the Camel City studios.
Also, I need to apologize for the last 2 episodes because the sound was off.
Yeah.
But the sound engineer was the reason for that.
You don't claim yourself to be the sound engineer in the credits, do you?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm the sound engineer. It was my fault.
It is your fault. Yeah. Although the button was right in front of my nose.
Yeah. No, I completely missed it. Also, this is our 100th episode.
Number 100. Can you believe it?
So we might do something special for 104th because that's 2 years.
Yeah, we're coming up on 2 years.
And we're doing the Raw.
Yes, that's right.
So we'll be live at the Raw. We'll be there.
Yeah, October 21st, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's a 100th episode.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Any favorites still stand out in your mind?
I'd have to go back through the whole list now. I enjoyed doing the Doodlebug whole series on that.
Yeah.
That was fun. I think when we did the ones on the car being stolen.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was at the beginning. Probably the ones I've enjoyed the most are the ones we did about getting lost in the gorge and getting lost on the Black Mountain. Yeah, those are fun to do.
Yeah.
Any of the ones where the other one didn't know what we were talking about.
For sure.
Were all good ones to me. Yeah, we should go back and do like what do they call them? Like a look back episode. Yeah, best of episode.
Well, yeah, or we would say what our favorite is, and maybe our listeners could do this. Send us maybe some of your favorites, and then you can pick out funny clips. I mean, it's going to be as the sound engineer, this would be a hard one to do, but you can pick out funny clips out of those episodes that people. I think I really enjoy when Emily and Ella are here, especially when we did this the slang and the terminology. I really enjoyed that one.
And even though you can't see it, Camille's sitting here quietly beside us, and she did a whole episode herself on geocaching.
That was probably not my favorite episode. Probably my favorite episode was Milo the fish.
That was your favorite episode?
Yeah. Speaking of fish, my fish passed away today too.
I'm so sorry.
That's because the sound engineer has had some problems with the tank.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
that's one of my many hobbies.
Aquatic engineer is
aquatic engineer.
Okay.
So it doesn't sound right, but I do think you probably reached the end of another episode of That Don't Sound Right.
Hey, before we want to close, we want to thank everyone for listening. 100th episode. We appreciate you sticking out there the whole time.
We should have like a badge for for 100 episodes.
Well,
or a rubber duck for 100 episodes.
I know several people who want something that said, I've listened to them all, like my boss.
Yeah.
He's listened to them all. It was lunchtime the other day, and I walked by, and he was on the website looking for the latest episode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks
and I hadn't updated the website yet. But he knows.
The web designer.
Web designer was on vacation that weekend.
Yeah, we should have like an episode balance. I've listened to 50, I've listened to 75, I've listened to 100.
Well, if you're a Jeep owner and you know us, you're going to get an episode duck.
That would be a good thing.
Hey, but if this is your first time and enjoyed the conversation, would you consider hitting the subscribe button on the platform you listen on? Also, consider leaving us a review or give us a rating.
All right, so remember, we will be at the Run Against Hunger, the Raw in Ardmore on October 21st. We'll have a booth set up there. And also, remember our our advertiser, Wonderfully Made Designs. It's a small business specializing in custom-made T-shirts and decals. Contact Casey on Facebook at Wonderfully Made Designs 139.14.
The numbers are important. I'll just point that out again.
Use code TDSR10 for 10% off your first order. And I actually got some T-shirts from her this week.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to get a T-shirt from her instead of from the other site that we use, she has our design now, so you can call and get that.
Perfect.
And I also got decals from her.
I can't wait.
And they turned out. Have I shown you those yet? I think I showed you those. Yeah. So they turned out really nice. Thank you, Casey. That Don't Sound Right is a production of TDSR Podcast in conjunction with Camel City Studios. I am your sound engineer who has the microphone set properly this week, so hopefully you can hear the episode better. Peter is your other host and your web designer,
who will update the website on time this weekend.
Our barista is
Camille.
Emily is our graphic designer. Good luck this semester.
Headed back to VCU.
At college. I hope it all goes well.
Actually, as we speak, she's there right now, hopefully tuning in.
Ella is in charge of our Instagram account. We probably need to buy her a phone because her phone's acting up.
Oh, yeah. Well, we definitely need that. I'm not sure it's in the budget. Not sure it's in the budget. But
we spent all our budget on the Raw.
We'll see if we can scrap some things together.
Giorgio is our merchandise tester. We actually have new merchandise now, the shirts.
That's right.
Brent is our international brand ambassador. And as always, listener number one is Scott. So until next week, keep talking.
And stay curious.